Peace, peace, everybody. For those that are getting in, let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. Gonna wait a minute or two for a couple more people to get in here. Can you guys hear me clearly? Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Greetings to you. How are you doing? How's everybody doing? As we wait, as we wait for a couple more people to get in, let me know where everybody's coming from. Let me know where everybody's from. Where you guys from? Like I said, we're gonna wait probably another minute. Peace from Florida. Shout out to Florida. Also, by the way, guys, you know, I don't really have an exact topic. I just haven't been on live in so long. Like I was like, I got time. Shout out, peace to you, peace to everybody coming into the live room. Please let me get some of them likes. Yeah, I just wanted to have a dialogue with you guys, man. Shout out to Las Vegas. Peace. Thank you for coming into the live stream. Please let me get some of them likes. Like I said, I haven't been on live in a while, and I really don't like the new format of how they do live now, but it's all about change. It's all about getting comfortable with the change. So I was like, let me hop back on here. Just talk with you guys, connect with you guys. Shout out to Chicago. I'm in a creative mode, taking advantage of my Venus and Aquarius energy. That's good. That's good. Peace and blessings. Oregon. Shout out to Oregon. W. Andrew. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah. Basically, guys, we're just gonna have a dialogue. We're just gonna talk. I just want to talk metaphysics. Shout out to Buffalo. I just want to talk metaphysics. I want to talk spirituality. I want to answer all your questions. I want to vibe out with everybody. I hope you guys are doing enjoying your Saturday. How was the New Year's for everybody? Well, the fake New Year's for everybody. You guys have fun? Oh, Pete, shout out to you, Charles. Shout out to you, Charles. Shout out to you, Ashley. Just another day, right? um, by the way, while we're waiting, again, like I always do, this is what I call a Q&A. So if any of you guys have any topics you want to speak on, you have any questions that you want to ask me right now, feel free to ask in the chat, and I'll get into it before I get into my talk. You was in bed by 8. I wish I was in bed by 8. At that particular time. I was out about in the world, you know. Again, like I always say, being in this world but not of it. I was out and about in the world. I probably should have been home and sleep by 8. But yeah, any topics you guys want to speak on? Any questions or anything like that before I get into, a couple of things that I want to talk about. Like again, I ain't really have too much to talk about. I just wanted to hop on live since it's been so long. I think the last time I was on live was September. Yeah, C Diggs, the actual real New Year is March 22nd. Okay. So that's when you start a new cycle. The whole thing I was always saying that it's the way that society always portrays something is always literally backwards. Like they have you thinking that you're starting your new cycle in the wintertime. Okay. Even if you live in an atmosphere, in an environment that doesn't experience so-called winter, right? But again, we're still talking about energy here. So even if you don't experience that, even if the whole entire planet was still was all one temperature, okay, what we're talking about is a movement of energy here, and the energy recycles just like the same cycle in astrology, that same wheel. If you ever got into Buddhism or anything, you'll see the same wheel. Hinduism, it's always this cycle. Every day is a cycle, right? It's just like when you start your new cycle as far as throughout the day, okay? Throughout the day, like you start your day in the morning time. And the morning time correlates with March 22nd. Um, 6 a.m. correlates with Aries. Aries is the first zodiac sign. March 22nd, Aries. Okay. So all the people that always ask me what's the best time to wake up, 6 a.m. in your time. Okay. That's usually slightly before the sun rises. Well, the sun's beginning to rise at that period of time. Shout out to everybody in the chat room right now. Please let me get some more likes. Um, well, much love to all of you. Oh, right, right. So but yeah, C Diggs, like I said, March 22nd is the start of the new year because again, like I said, it correlates with Aries. That's the start of Aries. 6 a.m. All the cycles. There's always a start point. You do not start. And as far as the time period that the winter solstice correlates with is 12 a.m. in the middle of night. And you wouldn't start. I mean, some people, I mean, it's not natural to start your day at 12 a.m., right? So think about it in a broader scale as well. You don't start, your energy in the middle of the night. And the correlation to that will be starting your year in the middle of winter. Okay. And we look at something like I said, I'm answering all questions. We're having a dialogue, guys. We're having a talk for a little while. Just because I haven't been on live so much. So whatever questions you guys want to ask, if I can answer it, I'm gonna handle it. Okay, so LG, you're saying I keep seeing the numbers 2 and 4 everywhere. What does that mean? I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, because I meant to do a video on number synchronicity. I might still do it as well. But anytime you're constantly, thing you have to remember is that it's different for everybody. Okay, you got to pay particular attention to your own reality because, again, like I say with everything, this is not one of these things that you can Google and say, all right, what happens if I'm seeing a number 2 all the time? And the resource you're getting it from most likely will be giving you that from their perspective, which is not wrong for them. But remember, like I'm always pointing out with astrology, with numerology, with tarot, everything is based on you personally. Okay. So again, like what I'm saying is that that resource is not something that you would Google about. Now you can Google what the number 2 means in numerology and what the number 4 means in numerology, but that's still not going to give you those details that you're looking for, LG. But what you want to do though is if you've been paying attention to any of my videos, I'm always bringing up the diary situation, right? The thing that you want to do is every time you see those numbers, you want to write down that in your diary, the particular time. You want to become aware, because obviously we got to remember that numbers, this is the language of God. This is the universal language. All right. Every time you look at a clock, even on your phone, that's a message being sent to you, but only you can decode it. That's the scam here. Okay, because again, we can decode things from our own perception. So what I'm going to teach you is how to decode it yourself. All right, LG, I'm going to teach you how to decode it yourself. So every time you see number 2 and 4, what you want to do is you want to pay it, first of all, as soon as you see it, you want to pay attention to your surroundings. Who are you talking to? What environment are you in? How are you feeling? Where are you going? This is what it means to be conscious. You got to pay attention to your surroundings. You got to pay attention to where you're at. You want to write this down. Okay. You want to document this information, because what you'll notice is that as time goes on, you keep seeing 2 and 4, right? You keep seeing these numbers. You'll realize there's a certain pattern. You're always doing, something. You're always thinking about a certain somebody. You're always, you might be, whatever it may be, there's going to be some kind of correlation or pattern. Okay. There's always going to be some correlation or pattern. Then what you want to do is, once you find the pattern, LG, okay, I'm gonna get to everybody's questions. I see you popping in on the live stream, but then once you find the pattern, this is when you want to look at the numeral the description of these numbers, because that's what's going to give you the message. So we know number 2 represents the feminine. We know number 2 represents the woman. Okay, it represents relationships. It represents balance. It represents creation. Okay, we know number 4 represents foundation, building things. We know 4 represents, I mean, we can go on and on, but what the whole thing that I want you to understand is that you want to document this information, LG, so you can decode the messages for yourself, because nobody else can do that for you. Again, like I said, the thing you want to do is you want to research number 2 and number 4 and what these mean, but you need to find your pattern first. Okay, because it could be anything, but if you don't know your pattern, why did every time these numbers pop up for you, it's happening for a certain reason, and there's a message being sent to you. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you. Let me know if that makes sense for you in the chat. So how do you unlock your DNA? Well, I did a video about this a long time ago, about the whole correlation, the connection between unlocking your DNA and ancestral worship. Now, again, if you haven't seen those videos, it might sound a little weird, because you're probably thinking, what does the ancestors have to do with my DNA? Because that's every time you unlock, all right, so-called unlocking DNA, that means you're unlocking new information within your being, essentially in a metaphysical level. Okay, because obviously the scientists know you have all this DNA. They call it junk DNA, right? But what is DNA essentially? It's information. Okay, so where is this information coming from? You got to think about past lives, ancestors. There you go. I am my ancestors, right? So when you connect with your ancestors, you're gaining new bits of information from yourself. This is why bloodlines were so important. This is the whole reason for the tree of life, and they call it a family tree. You see, that DNA is information. So when you activate the DNA, you're getting more information. So in a metaphysical way, if you're connecting with ancestors from way back in your bloodline, that is going to be activating that information within inside your physical self. Remember that everything starts from a higher place and trickles down to the physical. Okay, but I am, you already got it. Like you already, you already put it in there. That, but for everybody else that's listening, everything comes from a higher place. Okay, and then it trickles down to the physical. The physical is an effect. It's not a cause. Okay, anything that you see is a result of something higher. It's trickling down. We know the four worlds. Anybody that's been paying attention to my videos know you know about the four worlds. If you're new to my channel, well, the four worlds are the four elements. Okay, we're talking fire, air, water, and earth. Okay, fire represents the spiritual, air represents the thought, water represents the emotions, and earth represents the physical. So let's just pretend, you know, let's just pretend you have an addiction. Okay, you can't blame the addiction, right? Because that's not the cause. I mean, that's not the cause of, that's not a cause. That's an effect of something. Like an emotional disturbance will cause an addiction. We all know this stuff, right? So it comes from higher. Even when you want to get even deeper with the physical, let's say you have, uh, let's just say throughout your life, uh, let's say have bad digestive problems. Okay. Well, guess what? Depending on, like, there's a source for that. Like digestion problems just doesn't just pop up. Even if you're eating a particular food too much that's causing those digestive issues, it's because of an emotional or mental or even spiritual disturbance within your being that's creating you to eat that certain stuff and then it's, creating the effect of having, digestive problems. Okay. So, let me see. But I mean, I am, like I said, you basically, in a nutshell, I know I go all around the world sometimes. In a nutshell, again, in a metaphysical way, you can unlock your DNA by connecting with your ancestors in a metaphysical way. Now, of course, there are other teachers that talk about some physical ways. But again, I'm not too versed in that information. Okay. But like I said, in a metaphysical way, because that's the correlation. Like I said, the tree of life, all right, the Kabbalah tree, the family tree, all right, it's all the same tree. Okay. This is why society is so focused on bloodlines. Those royal bloodlines, they don't want to mix with anybody because they understand they come back through their bloodline. You come back through your bloodline. Now, I know that Buddhism and other certain religions have a different take on reincarnation. That's totally fine, but you got to remember that these are religions, okay? That these are religions. They're called a religion for a reason because it's constricting. What I'm telling you is what the Masons are following. What I'm telling you is what the people that run this world follow. Because the people that run this world aren't Buddhist people. Okay? They're not, Hindu. Now what they do is they they understand bits and pieces of all these religions and all these different factions of spirituality because it's all coming from one source. But the people that run this world aren't Buddhists. They aren't Hindu. No disrespect to any of those religions, but like I said, I know there's a difference between reincarnation, what I'm talking about, reincarnating through your bloodline only, and then the Buddhist view where you can reincarnate into anything. Okay. I'm all in the Buddhist view where you can reincarnate into anything. Okay. I'm always perspective of what these people behind the scenes that are running the world are teaching and are following. Because obviously they have something that we need to see. Okay. Because Buddhism is readily available for everybody. And we have to question why that is. We have to question why that is. Okay, so shout out to Portugal. Thank you for coming into the live stream. Okay, Charles, you're saying even though the spring equinox starts on the 20th, would it be better to initiate things on the 22nd since that is the truly beginning? Like I always say, Charles, um, is that like basically the gate, because these are portals. Okay. So basically the portal starts to open during the 20th. Um, but you want to initiate it anytime. Okay. Like there's no one particular time that you should wait. All right. But I'm just saying during that period of time is you want to make sure you're actually doing it. You want to make sure you're actually paying attention. You want to make sure you're actually doing your fasting, or you're actually initiating your action, or you're actually putting things in motion, whatever it is, you're actually doing your rituals. All right. But there's no set time. Like you want to stay in motion, but these are when these portals are open, I'm just trying to tell you to take advantage of it. So you don't have to wait to the 22nd. You could start on the 18th. So you're already in motion. So when it peaks on the 22nd, like I said, it comes in the 20th, then it peaks on the 22nd. It's always that number 22. This is why number 22 is a master number. Number 11, 22, 33. And then more advanced people know that 44 is a master number as well. But there's a reason why these are master numbers. All right. They didn't just somebody just make this stuff up. But number 22 is a master number because of, because of this fact. Well, one of the reasons why. Okay. So but yeah, that just peaks there, but you should already be in motion. You don't have to wait. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. Ashley, you're saying I don't have a question at the moment, but I would like to thank you for. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Thank you, I appreciate it. I am. You said I'm trying to move mountains. Hey, man. Hey, brother, I feel you. I'm trying to move mountains with you, man. Hey, Christina. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Oh, so is there such a good thing as good and evil, or are they both the same thing? Good and evil is all perception, okay? Because you got to think about it, and this is coming from the conscious mind. This is coming from the masculine brain, because the masculine brain looks at things in individual parts. We understand this, right? So, for example, um if your dog dies, you might consider that a bad thing because it hurts you, because you're thinking about it in an individual part. Okay. But as far as in the sense of life itself, that can't be considered evil. Even, I mean, there's again, it's all perception, because even so-called evil people, if you get into the psychology of things, they don't think that they're evil. Okay, not most of them. Okay, not everybody, of course, but some of these so-called crazy murderers and psychopaths and stuff. Research some of them and watch the interviews of them describing why they do things. They don't see themselves as evil. A lot of people that do so-called evil or bad things, they see themselves as justified. So that automatically lets you know that good and evil is perception, because something that might be good to me, that I might consider a good thing in life, it might be an evil thing to you, and vice versa. Okay. So when you're thinking about those kind of terms, just know that that's in a masculine mind frame, because we're looking at an individual part here. All right. Like I always tell you guys, the feminine doesn't work that way. The feminine doesn't care about individual parts. This is why when you go into nature, true nature, where it's all about survival, your death or somebody that you love's death does not matter. Okay. In fact, death is important to the whole of everything. I always give the analogy of you're in the forest and you see a little bunny rabbit, right? And you say, dang, I love that, it's such a cute little bunny rabbit, right? And all of a sudden all these wolves come and just rip it to shreds. Okay. You might see that as a bad thing, right? You're like, what the heck? Why did they do that, right? And then what you have to understand is that the wolves need to feed their cubs. The corpse of the rabbit needs to feed the earth, needs to feed the insects, needs to so on and so forth. So death and murder and all this stuff, as far as in the feminine, that's a part of life. Okay, that's just a part of life. But when we think about it in individual parts, we're saying, no, that's not a good thing. But how do you know what's good and what's not? Okay, how do you know what's good and what's not? So, again, and so on and so forth. Evil and good is a perception of reality. It all depends on your perception. Okay. This is why real high frequency people, they don't get upset by things. If you notice, the masses gets pulled left and right from, things that happen in the world. The occultists don't get upset about what's happening in the world because we know that's how that's the world. It's always going to be 50% death and 50% life. It's always going to be 50% masculine, 50% feminine. That's just how it is. So we're not going to get upset when we see certain things happening, because we know this is just how life is. We don't get upset by humanity, right? Because we know how humanity is. We know human beings. Let's just accept the fact that humans are humans. Okay? That's just the way it is. Human beings will do what human beings do. All right. And they've been doing the same thing for thousands of years. There's been wars for thousands of years. And if you guys are really in the know, it's even longer than that. But we're not going to touch on that. But just know that humans will always do what humans do. Okay. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? Again, we don't have those answers. So again, it's all just in your perception of reality. Okay. Let me see. So why is there such a demonic connotation around Freemasonry and occultism? Oh, so Tate, um, that's because the occult and Freemasonry represents the feminine. Now, anybody that's had a conversation with me understands that the world sees as far as this the current society of human beings sees the feminine as evil. Always has. Well, at least from the first century on. It's starting to change now because remember, this is how human beings are. I was just explaining this. Human beings go from one extreme to the next extreme. Okay. So the other extreme we were on during the age of Pisces was the feminine was evil. So anything dealing with the feminine was considered evil. Remember, before monotheistic religions took over, the time period where people were, worshiping multiple gods or just giving praise to multiple aspects. We know that's feminine because it's multiple. We know that monotheistic religions are masculine because they try to make you focus on one position. That's masculine represents the number one. The feminine represents the number two. So, of course, feminine religions are going to give praise to multiple aspects of life because they're not focused on individualism. Okay. So, we have to understand that anything feminine was deemed evil. I mean, look, even in the Bible, like Eve was the snake is considered feminine. Eve is considered feminine. Okay. Think about Muslims and how they feel about the left hand. The left part of your body is feminine. So the left hand path, the devil on the left side of your shoulder. Okay. So anything kind of, it's because they realize that the feminine can be a little scary because there's no structure to it. From what we can understand as human beings, there's no structure to it. But the human experience, because remember, we're so used to trying to be in control of things. So of course, if you go into a space or you're dealing with the energy that you can't control, you're going to deem that as evil. Remember, I said the whole thing about perception of reality, right? Man fears what he does not understand. So man fears, well, at least the masses of, for the masses, man fears the occult because it's unknown. That's what the word occult means. It means unknown. What's under the surface? If you don't know, that might make you fearful. But anybody that knows, that studies this stuff, it becomes less scary the more you learn about it, because you realize we're talking about forces of nature here. We're talking about psychology. Literally, the occult is like 90% psychology and like 10% understanding natural laws. Okay. Like literally, so remember that psychology was known as a pseudoscience at one point in time. Not even like, what was it, like 100 years ago, 200 years? They considered psychology as pseudoscience, like they consider astrology as pseudoscience today. But guess what? As time goes on, you'll be able to go to school for astrology. You'll be able to go to, get a degree in numerology. It's just we're not at that time period yet. 200 years from now, they're going to be looking at us like we were stupid, like we do the human beings 300 years ago. We're like, dang, they used to believe that. Dang, they used to think that. 200, 300 years from now, they'll be on a whole nother level, understanding. I guarantee you'll be able to go to get a degree in numerology, get a degree in astrology. Like you can get a degree in psychology, where psychology was deemed a pseudoscience not too long ago. Okay. Um, let me see. Let me see. Okay, you're saying is okay. Just is it masculine and feminine? Just what you perceive as well, like positive and negative. Well, we're talking about charges here, like a positive charge and a negative charge. As far as what we consider masculine, like in people, and what we consider feminine in people, that is just a perception of reality. But as we know, there are two forces in this reality. Okay, even regular science understands this. You have negative charge, you have a positive charge. Now these aren't like I say this all the time in my sessions with people, is that we use a lot of slang. Okay, as far as like we say, oh, something is positive, that means something is good, right? Or we say something is negative and we say that means bad, but that's really just slang, because positive and negative are just forces. Now I'm saying positive and negative right now for the sake of conversation. All right. So we're all on the same page, but I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay. So Maddie Champ, you're saying that you're life path number 6. Oh, okay, LG. Thanks for coming through, LG. Let me look at some of these shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to all you guys participating right now. Please, if you're in the chat room, if you haven't did already, please hit the like button. Um yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna look at, yes, Charles, duality of life. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, W. Andrews. Okay, so Maddie Champ, I do want to talk about life past, because like I bring in my magic coaching sessions, okay? Um I get into this because the life path is very important to understand, but it gets misconstrued because of the internet. Same thing like the sun sign, all right? Because what they try to do is lump everything together. Like they do with the sun sign, you guys know, with the horoscopes, right? The horoscopes, right? What they do is they lump everything together. Let's just say you're a Libra sun sign, right? And then they lump everything together in a horoscope and say, "Oh, this is going to happen throughout your day. This is what's going to happen in your love life. This is blah blah blah. This is what your personality is like." And we, as anybody's had an astrology reading with me, knows, or anybody that knows even just a little bit about deeper astrology, knows that you can't lump everything into a sun sign, because the sun sign is just an aspect of your personality. It's a part of your personality representing the ego, which is your perception of reality. So again, if you're a Libra sun sign, you see through the eyes of a Libra. Okay, as far as how you perceive life has nothing to do about your how you make love or how doing with career wise or whatever else. It's how you perceive reality. And though these all things they all work in parts and work together like a machine. But like what I'm trying to say is that you can't base things off of just one part. So this is the same thing with the life path. Okay. It's the same thing with the life path. The life path is exactly what it says it is. It's not your personality. It has nothing to do with deep down inside. It's how you should structure your life so you can get the best results. This is what I was teaching in the magic coaching sessions. Okay. Where I'm looking at your numerology chart and your astrology chart, putting this information together and giving you a plan and coaching you and giving you a plan that suits you, giving you the tools and tools to the trade that suit exactly you, because that's how magic works. That's how these things work. Like I always bring up this point that I can't really speak on certain things, right? Because I don't know you personally until I'm looking at certain information. Because as you know, on other channels and on other blogs, they just give general information out, but that's not for you personally. And if you follow that, that's what's you're gonna make a lot of mistakes because they're not specifically speaking to you. You see what I mean? So again, as far as your life path number, that's how you should structure your path. That's not even telling you the destination of your path. That's just the life path is saying this is how you should move about in life. This is how you should structure your path. Okay. This is how you should formulate. So, for example, my life path is number 4. Okay. So obviously, structure is very important and being organized and being on time and actually doing things in a step-by-step fashion. That's what's going to get me the best results in life. If I try to skip steps, if I try to just use people, if I don't pay attention to, you know, if I don't pay attention to organization, that's what's going to make me fail in life. You see? That's what's going to make me fail in life. So again, looking at your life path, again, that's just showing you your structure, okay? Or how you should structure your day-to-day life. That's not even telling you about the destination because the destiny number is the destination. Okay. And this is why you need to look at your full numerology chart so you can say, okay, I got to structure my life this way, but where am I going? Also, you got to align yourself with your desires. That's why you have an inner number or a soul number. There's a couple different names for it. Okay, because you got to see your inner desires. I brought up this in a couple videos back when I was talking about wants versus desires. You don't get what you want, you only get what you desire. And in order to turn your wants into a desire, it's 2 simple resources I always talk about. How to Turn Wants and Desires, the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and another book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. These 2 books, okay, teach you how to turn a want into a desire. Okay. So let me look at some of these. So Maddie Champ is saying, I want to get into a career that I can make positive and powerful impact in people's lives. I'm unemployed at the moment. I believe God has a plan for me. Yes, I mean, we all have a plan. Um, Simple thing I always say is, what do you love to do? The whole thing to people is that, you know, the main goal, not to talk about jobs or anything, because job is a step. A job was originally for, you just getting out of high school or just getting out of college just to get on your feet so you can build up your dream to what you want to do. A job was not the end goal, guys. That wasn't the end goal. Today's time, we think a job is the end goal. That's the first step. You get a job when you're in high school, right? So you can get your own shoes and your own clothes so you can understand how life works and you can get out in the work field and getting some experience. That's what a job is for. A job is not an end goal. Your career, which is AKA what you love to do, is your end goal because it makes it you when you do something that you love to do, you don't feel like you're at work. Okay? You don't feel like you're at work. So if Maddie Champ, if you're asking, okay, what do if you're asking, you want to get a job, well, my question to you is what do you love to do? Especially in this day and age, in this day and time, you can literally do whatever you want to do. Like people are making thousands of dollars on YouTube doing pranks. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Like I said, you always support my channel. Thank you for that donation, ASMR Rose. Like you always support me. I appreciate you. And we're gonna definitely talk soon. Okay, I appreciate that. Um, what was I saying? Uh, so yeah, Maddie Champ. What I was saying. Um, what I was saying, the love got to me. But what I was saying is that you want to figure out what you love to do because obviously you already have something that you love to do. My whole main thing today is to teach people how to get results without having to, life is already hard, right? So why make it even harder? Why don't you just ride your own wave and get the things that you truly desire? Work with what you really want to work with. If you have to get a job for the moment, keep this in your mind though, that this is just a step to get to what you love to do. So again, you can get a job right now, right? And you can set out money to the side for your career or what you love to do. All right. If you want to be a painter, you should be starting your Instagram right now. You should be getting on Instagram right now and and putting your paintings on Instagram and learning about hashtags and networking with other artists on Instagram and maybe even paying people to shout you out on their popular Instagrams or paying people to shout you out on their Facebooks so you can get that attraction as well, and then you can stop working, you can get paid for your paintings, you're getting paid for being a social media influencer, then somebody else is paying you to do the same thing, somebody else isn't paying you to endorse. It's as simple as that in this day and age, guys. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter what you want to do, like literally it doesn't matter what you want to do. So here's the thing. If you're unemployed right now, like you said, Maddie Champ, that's totally fine because guess what? You got time. You got time. You got time to think. That's a blessing. Even if you're living at your mother's crib, don't listen to what other people are telling you. You living in your mom's basement or something like that, right? You got something that a lot of people don't have. I told you, time and people are the two main currencies. So what you have to do, Maddie Champ, is to utilize this time to think, plan, strategize. How you said you wanna help the youth and teach, right? You said you wanna help the youth and teach, right? So that's your main focus then. What you can do right now, since you have the time, is you can find a nonprofit that helps the youth in your community right now. You can just volunteer so you can make the connections. You see what I mean? So you got the time, just volunteer at a nonprofit that helps children. And while you're helping them children, you can give them game. You can teach them how to be a man, teach them how to be a woman, teach them confidence, teach them spirituality, teach them how to be themselves. That's what we need today. So we need more people like you, Maddie Champ, that want to work with the youth and want to teach the youth. Okay. So my suggestion would be, like I said, find a nonprofit or just a movement in your local community and volunteer for them. Okay, there's tons of stuff like that in your local. I mean, every local community. If you live in a more remote area, just your closest city, then and visit. And like again, when you have downtime, strategize. Write your goals down. Okay, Visualize things. I told you guys, imagination is more important than power. That was my last, well, one of my last videos. Not the one about the bath, the spiritual baths, but the one, I think it was the ways to improve imagination and why imagination is important. Because again, this is something else I teach in my magic coaching sessions, is that the thing is, what we're trying to build here is focus, discipline, energy, imagination, and knowledge. Knowledge comes last. Okay. Knowledge comes last. And if anything, imagination comes first. But then also that discipline and focus. A lot of people lack two main things: discipline and focus. Because if you have the knowledge, even if you have the imagination, you ain't getting nowhere without discipline and focus and energy. Okay. So three, I mean, but a lot of us have energy. Okay. But I mean, well, a lot of us don't, because we're putting energy into the wrong things. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the live stream right now. Peace and love. Okay. Uh any tips for a life path number 11? Um oh yeah, hold on one second, Kelly. W Andrews, do you offer individualized personal sessions? Yes, I do. You can contact me at coathealing22@gmail.com. The email should be in the description. Okay. If it's not in the description, let me know. But again, that's the magic coaching sessions. Now I only do have as far as the coaching sessions goes, because if you're just talking about you want to do a one-on-one consultation with me with no time limit, yeah, I have that open. Now, as far as the magic coaching sessions, I don't know which one you were referring to. I only have a couple more spots left, literally two more spots, and I was talking to two people today, but as I always say, it's always first come, first serve with me. Okay. So I do have two more spots for the magic coaching sessions. Now, if you're talking about a one-on-one consultation, where it's just one time, again, we're talking on the phone, we could talk about whatever it is that you want to, talk about, then we can do that. But either way, a coathealing22@gmail.com is the email you want to contact me on. Now, Kelly, you were asking about life path number 11. Okay. Remember, like I was saying before about the life path thing, that this is just how you structure your life. Okay. If you just want to, if you're, this is how you should structure your life, because you need to look at other aspects in your numerology chart to get more information. Now, as far as the 11, this is known as the master teacher. Okay. So the thing is, you're going to be, how you need to structure your life is that you should always, first of all, you should be gaining some kind of information to give to other people. Okay. So you always want to stay in a position where you're offering guidance and advice to people. All right. That's how you should structure your life. Obviously, you were gifted with a lot of knowledge and a lot of leadership qualities. Okay. Maybe you have a lot of confidence. Maybe you have like, maybe that, you are very vibrant. You have a lot of energy, but you always need to stay in a position where you're giving that to somebody. Remember, everybody wants to be a master number. Master numbers are not nice. Okay. Because I've even had people get numerology readings from me, right? And they claim that they're master numbers, but they're not. Okay. If you have a master number on anywhere in your numerology chart, it's a lot harder for you. You have double the work. You're responsible. You have more responsibility. Okay. So my thing is, like I said, you got to stay in a position. Thank you, Maddie Champ. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for showing this love. Again, I can't, I can't stress it enough that I appreciate that. But like I was saying, Kelly, is that you want to structure your life where you're giving yourself. You got to be a giver. You got to give your knowledge. You got to give your vibrancy. You got to give a lot of your energy to people. Okay. You got to stay in that position where you're kind of more so in the front. The master numbers they got to be more so in the front. and you know, there's other numbers like 1 and 8 that are leaders as well. Um, but again, it could be any kind of leadership. But yeah, so life path number, any master number on any one of those persons, because um I have 11 on my destiny number. But guess what, guys? Look what I'm doing right now. Remember, the destiny is the destination. Correlating. Okay, Shelly S. My email is a coathealing22 at gmail.com. The email should be in the description of this video, but what I'll do is I'll put it right in the chat. Okay. Put it right in the chat. Coathealing22 at gmail.com. Um, and like I said, as far as those magic coaching sessions, like I said, it's first come, first serve. I was talking to 2 people, but they didn't make the purchase yet. So I got 2 more spots. And as far as any of my other services, you guys know that you know they're open. The astrology readings, the tarot readings, you know, the detox sessions, the you know, I'm still doing the how to make money from home session, even though I'm about to drop that too. Because I want to do a part 2 to that, because I have you know, some other whole new ways to make money online now, because of course, you know, things change really rapidly, and I believe I started that last year. As far as the money spell, and then like I said, the one-on-one consultations with me. But again, I'm only one person, guys, so that's why I have to do things like constrict the time because it's only me. Now if I had a whole team that was doing it with me, but again, if we're talking, you most likely want to talk to me anyway. So let's see. Let me again, shout out to everybody in the chat room right now. Thank you for all the love. Let's see. Okay. Kelly, you're saying I'm a forever student, always learning and having to, yeah. Remember what I was saying? That, you know, life is all about, you know, remaining a student and a teacher at the same time. Okay. That's really important. Okay. Charles, you asking, are you still offering that session where you find what star, solar system our souls come from? Yeah, I was doing that for a while, but Charles, you know what? I could do that for you. Because again, certain things, you know, I do for a little while. Um, you know, and then I stop because again, like I said, there's only so many people I can, you know, do things with, and I'm, you know, I'm very busy, obviously, because of all these all these things that I'm doing. But again, it doesn't feel like work to me because this is what I love to do, and this is where I want you guys to be at too. I want you guys to make money off of the things you love to do, and this is why also anybody in the chat room that has any resource, you have a website or anything, always feel free to share it with us. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, I'm not one of those people. Um, I'm not one of those people that try to, you know, that tries to have only the focus on me. If you do astrology readings, as long as you do them well, if you do whatever it means, you sell crystals or whatever, I want you. That's the whole thing of doing this stuff, right? If we talk about building a community, I want you guys to do what you know, make money actually what you love to do. That's what it's all about. Okay. If it's not about that, what are we doing this for? Right. You know, is you're going to work miserable and stuff like that. And then you want to learn about it. You know, you want to learn about this stuff. If you're learning about it, it should be affecting your life in some kind of way. It should be improving your life in some kind of way. So anybody in the chat room, again, always feel free to promote your, you know, whatever you got going on. Okay, because that's what it's about. So we can all thrive off of each other, and you know, it's not just the focus is on me, it's on all of us. It's so we can all feed our families, so we can all pay our bills, so we, you know, so we can enjoy this life and not have to worry about money. Okay, so let me see. No problem, Kelly, no problem at all. So yeah, Charles, uh Wait a minute. Let me see something real quick. Matter of fact, I have you coming up. I forgot. I do have you coming up on this Monday at 12 p.m. So when I'm going over the magic session with you, we can get into that too, and I can talk about how I can do that for you as well. Because I'm looking at my schedule now, and I see I have you coming up this Monday. Okay. Okay. So what's the difference between 9 and 11 as teachers? Um, again, uh, number 9, okay, is really, really focused on, you know, it's more than just, it's not necessarily a teacher, it's more than that, but 11 is really, really the master teacher. Okay. But that's a a long conversation. All right. Okay. Is the life path? Yes, yes, Emerald of Wisdom. I know that's right. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate you. Any advice for life path number 2? Um, now I appreciate you, Charles. So life path number 2, like I said, just in case you weren't here for what I was explaining before, the life path is about how you structure your life. Now remember, number 2 is about relationships. Number 2 is about balancing. Number 2 is feminine. Okay, so if you have a life path number 2, you should always be structuring your life where you're connecting yourself with other people. Okay. Yes, Samari, thank you for pointing that out. Yes, the 9 is the humanitarian focus on focusing on service. Thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, life path number 2, again, it's about, you know, like I said, you don't want to lump these together, right? The life path is just how you should structure your life and how you can get the best results. So, playing well and always connecting yourself with other people and always understanding the dynamic of relationships. This is how you're going to get the most results. Okay. This is how you're going to get more results in life for you as a life path number 2. But again, you don't want to just go off of that. You want to look at the other numbers as well. This is why I don't like just focusing on just speaking on one aspect, because you got to look at you got to look at everything. You got to look at all these different things. Um, as far as doing numerology readings, that's not necessarily my strength. My biggest strength, anybody knows, is astrology readings. Even though I know enough about numerology to be able to do the magic coaching sessions and to speak on certain things, but we all have certain strengths, and so I don't offer numerology readings, but as far as astrology readings and tarot readings, I do get into that. Okay. I know I missed a lot of comments. Shout out to everybody again, once again. Keep the questions coming. Like I said, I just wanted to have a dialogue with you guys. I wanted to, speak with y'all in real time, right? Because like I said, my last video was in September. Let's see. No, thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you guys. Any other questions, you guys let me know. I'm just looking at some of these old Maddie Champ, you can contact me at occulthealing22@gmail.com. Okay. The email should be in the description of this video. But yeah, if you, Maddie Champ, if since you're asking for an astrology and tarot reading, what you want to do is you want to contact me at occulthealing22@gmail.com. I would advise you to do that right now, because I do have a couple of astrology and tarot readings. I got a couple of readings coming up. So if you want yours, Hold on one second. Yeah, if you want yours like soon, I would advise you to hit me up, now or at least tonight. Or depending on your time zone, but it's currently 5:43 p.m. for me. Okay. Uh so yeah, if you want me to, I can, I'll put it in here again. I'll put it here in the chat room again. That's the email that you want to contact me on. And anybody else listening that wants the astrology readings, tarot readings, or any of my other services, if you want a list of my services, just let me know and I'll have my assistant send the list of the services and the prices. Okay. All right. So let me see. Oh, LG, you're back. Welcome back. Oh, wow. So that was synchronicity right there. Okay. Do you know anything about why they are finding citing the pineal gland? Um, there's so much stuff about the pineal gland, Kelly, and it's becoming calcified for many different reasons. First, it's becoming calcified because of lead in the water, lead in the food, and stuff like that. Artificial coloring and stuff in the food, milk. Okay, I know not everybody wants to hear that, but mucus calcifies the pineal gland. There's so many different things that affect the pineal gland. Okay, the best thing that you can do, um, because remember, you don't want to get caught up in the details of all these things. You don't want to drive yourself crazy. I always tell people that you just want to do what you can. Okay, you don't want to, drive yourself crazy as far as, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. You want to do what you can. So if you detox properly once a year, that's doing, a lot of work. Again, even if you can't you can't buy organic food 100% of the time. Again, you can do what you can. You don't want to stress about these things. Again, when you're stressed out and you're worrying all the time, your energy plummets, which makes your body plummet. Your immune system plummets. Okay, but if you're in a high frequency, you can fight off all these things that are attacking you. This is what they mean by no weapon shall prosper. Well, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's because you're in a high frequency. Okay, so properly detoxing once a year. That's all you need but it has to be proper though. Like anybody who's got the detox session with me knows that it's a lot more work than just the physical, just taking herbs and fasting for a little bit. Because if you're doing that, but then you're in a toxic environment or you're in a toxic relationship, remember I told you that things trickle down to the physical. Okay, so parasitic activity up here turns into parasitic activity in your body. Okay. And if you're interested in getting that detox session, again, occulthealing22@gmail.com is the email to contact me. Okay. So how much time do you spend cleaning before a ritual? Drives me crazy. I'm exhausted by the time I get to it. All right. The same thing, you don't want to drive yourself crazy with cleansing. Before ritual, what I do, I grab the sage, vacuum my rugs and stuff and wipe the walls down. And that's pretty much it. And then I use high frequency, like I'd said in a couple of other videos. I have a little bell. I don't exactly know where it's at the moment, but I have a little bell, just ring it a little bit. High frequency will cleanse the area as well. But saging. So I say it takes me about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Again, you don't want to drive yourself crazy. Again, but if you have rugs, just vacuum in real fast, wipe down your walls real fast, and then do the saging. Or remember, like anybody who's got the magic potion already, I said that I let them know that you can cleanse your area with fire as well. So even if you have a candle, just put the intention, walk around your sacred space with a candle, and you can cleanse the fire as well. I mean, you can cleanse with fire as well. Okay. Uh, um, Anybody, talking about the life paths, I kind of don't want to stay on the life paths because, like I was saying before, you know, I don't want to, lump information in just one aspect. Okay. So can we talk about the astral world? Okay. C Diggs, you want to talk about the astral world? Um, well, basically what the astral world is, because contrary to belief, the astral world and dream world are two different dimensions. Okay. This is why, like, when they say you can astral travel, you'll still that you get you'll still uh use the Ouija board. I'm sorry. Anyway, um, but yeah, like I was saying, the difference between the astral world and the dream world. Sorry, C Diggs. Um, the dream world is a whole different dimension that's following by different rules and regulations. It's following by a whole different planet. Okay, as anybody that's been watching my videos right now knows that this realm that we're talking in, speaking in right now, this realm is ruled by Saturn. So this is why things take time to come into fruition. This is why things are really, really organized. This is why things move in step-by-step motions, so on and so forth, because this particular realm dimension is ruled by Saturn. Okay. Now, as far as the dream world, some say this is ruled by Neptune. It's a whole, again, that's up for speculation. So don't quote me on that, guys. Okay. But what I can tell you, it does have different rules and regulations. And this is why in your dream world, things are really, really unorganized. Okay. It's not organized like Saturn, right? Like one moment you'll be here, the next moment you'll be here, the next moment, things just move really, really fast. Now, as far as the astral world, right? This is just a higher frequency, but still on this plane. So this is why that anybody that's astral traveled, they came out of their body, but they were still in this plane, but just on a higher frequency. Okay. So is there any other particular question like concerning the astral world? So if you want me to get specific about something, C Diggs, let me know in the chat and I can get specific. But that's what the astral plane is basically this plane of existence, but a higher frequency. Okay. So you can come out of your body if you train yourself. You usually do this when you're a child anyway. You do this like by accident when you're a child. Okay. And you come out of your body, but you're still on this plane. And you might see other things that are high on higher frequency levels as well. This is when you get into you might see other beings. This is when you get into the shadow people, all this stuff. I mean, that's a long story, but C Diggs, let me know if you have a specific question. Um, and I'll talk about something specific concerning the astral world. Okay. Wrestling superstar, thank you for coming into the live stream. Uh oh yeah. Oh, junk. I never used the Ouija board before. Okay. So ASMR Rose, yes, floor wash. If you do have hardwood floors or whatever it is, just mop the floors. Is again, it doesn't have to be that long. Okay. The reality check. You're saying, let me see. How can you get money fast? Um, well, I do have the money spell available, but it all depends. Again, it's not about getting money fast because you can here's the thing, here's the rule about money, because you don't want to get focused just on the piece of paper. You want to get focused on what it means. Okay. It's an format of exchange, because for money you was exchanging something else. It might have been, hey, I'll give you this cow for those 5 chickens. Okay. But you don't want to look at particularly at the cow and the chickens. You want to look at the act of exchanging things. So we got to talk about value. All right. The more valuable you are, the more you get paid. Okay. That's just how it is. For example, I always give this example of somebody that owns a business, right? Let's just say the CEO of a business, right? Versus somebody who mops floors at the business, for 4 hours in the middle of the night. All right. Who is more valuable to the business? The CEO, the one who's controlling the whole structure, or the person that's mopping floors, at from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. So of course the CEO is going to be more valuable, so the CEO gets more money. All right. So the question is not how much not how can I get more money faster? It's how can I become more valuable so I can get more money faster. So the key thing is you want to focus on is becoming more valuable. All right. But again, there are certain things that you can do. Like I said, the money spell that I have available that will initiate that, but it's still concerning your energy. Okay. Uh let's see. So hopefully that answers your question. I know it's not an exact question, but I want to be as real as possible and letting you know that you can manifest money. Okay, that's not the problem. The problem is energy, your value, how much value you have in the world. But really concerning energy too. Like if you do a spell or you do a ritual and you're trying to get money, right? Just always remember that the larger something is, so like wanting $50 can versus wanting $20,000, you're going to have to put more energy to get the $20,000. You're going to have to sacrifice more. You can't never get anything for free here, right? Because this realm is ruled by Saturn. In your dream world you can get whatever you want. So if anybody that's ever lucid dreamed before, right, where they wake up, where you become conscious in your dream, you can literally think of something and it pops right in your hand. That's not how this realm works. You have to give something. You have to give some kind of exchange to get something. So if you're trying to do a ritual to get $20,000, just know you're going to have to sacrifice that much more. You're going to have to put more energy into that. All right. So again, it's not about how can I get the money faster? How can I get more money? It's how can I become more valuable? How can I get more energy to, like, again, depending on which lane you're going. If you're going really, really practical with your money, right? Like you're talking about in this world, this business world and stuff, you got to become more valuable. All right. You become more valuable by knowing more things. If you work for a business and you tell them you know how to do marketing, you're more valuable now. If you tell them you know how to do brand awareness, you're more valuable now. Okay. Now, as far as doing rituals and spells and stuff like that, you got to be concerned with energy, and that's all about frequency. You got to build that up. That's the whole reason why I came out with the magic coaching sessions, because what I'm teaching people is how to build their energy up, build their discipline, focus, energy, imagination. So when you do rituals, right, you can actually get those results. Okay. Slow. Yeah, Ashley, Saturn is slow. I mean, everything is, Saturn represents patience too. So yeah, how do you get started? Reality check. Okay, reality check. I'm gonna get back to you. I want to answer some of these other questions real quick. Uh oh, so can you see yourself in the dream world? Sometimes I see myself while asleep. I but I don't know if I'm just dreaming or astral traveling. Okay, so the thing, astral traveling and lucid dreaming are two different things, okay? But yeah, the thing is, you can see, if you're just in a plain dream, right? That means you're not conscious, because when you're conscious, that means it's a lucid dream, or at least just for the sake of conversation, because there's many different names for this stuff. So, yes, you can see yourself in a regular dream. But when you become conscious in your dream, which we call lucid dreaming, okay, this is when you're in your own self, right? Even though things might be different. So one big aspect you can do, right, is look at the fingers on your hands. All right. This is a certain way that you can try to trick yourself of becoming conscious in your dream. So if you make it a habit to always look at the number of fingers you have on your hands, we know in this realm you have 5 fingers, right? We know in this realm because it's ruled by Saturn. But anybody that's ever woken up in their dream and looked at anybody that's ever lucid dreamed before and looked at the number of their fingers on their hands, you realize it's not 5. It might be 3. It might be 6. It might be 7. Okay. So, what a good trick that you can do. All right. Anybody that's also seen the movie Inception too, they were tricking themselves to become conscious in different realms. So you can look at your hand, just create a habit to always look at some people might think you're crazy or whatever, but as we know, as spiritual people, we're always doing something for a reason. So back when I was really, really focused on lucid dreaming all the time, first of all, I had my dream journal. That's really important. But you can also have something to trick your mind to become conscious in your dream. And mine, my personal one, was every so often in my regular reality, I would look at the number of fingers I had on my hand. And guess what? It actually worked. Like I was lucid dreaming all the time because in my dream, I would look at my hand and I would instantly become conscious in the dream and I would start lucid dreaming. Okay. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, reality check for the money spells. I have that for $60. So again, if you want to purchase that, um occult healing 22 at gmail.com is the email. Okay. But basically what it is, is a spell that I got, like I said, that I took from the Masons. Like I wasn't supposed to do that, but but hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? You know, but yeah, I took this spell that is only supposed to be known by certain people, so basically I tell you how to set it up. Okay. One thing is though, like I said though, you gotta make sure you have a lot of energy. So before you even do the spell, like let's just say you purchased the spell from me today, right? Um, you know, you want to make sure you get in a good frequency the next couple of days before you actually do it. And what I mean frequency, again, high frequency is like, you're feeling good. Okay. If you wake up tomorrow and ask yourself how are you feeling. If you can't really figure out how you're feeling, that means you're probably in a low frequency because when you feel good. You wake up in the morning, you just feel good. Like something is just you feel like the universe is on your side. That's how you know you're in a high frequency. That means you can use that energy for certain things. A lot of us are so tired all the time because of toxic relationships, toxic environments, toxic bodies, toxic thoughts, all these things that kind of keep you down here, okay, and keep you in a lower frequency. Okay. But yeah, um anybody, I see a couple of you saying that you sent me email. Soon as I get off the live stream, I'll email you guys back. So anybody that's sending me emails right now, I'm you know uh I'll get to you as soon as I get off the live stream, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. Okay. Okay. Does the magic spells cause bad karma? Sorry if this. No, the thing is, the way the spell is structured, this is why it's really popular in masonry. It's structured in a way where the thing is, when people say you get bad karma from doing a ritual or you're doing um, a spell or something, that's because you're trying to get something for nothing. You can't trick the universe. Okay, that's the main key that we have to understand here. You can't trick the universe. You can't trick the world. Um, so you get bad karma when you have a debt. That's what karma really is. It's like you have to pay a debt. All right. So you borrow, it's like regular business, right? I always say the business world is mirrored from the spiritual world. So anybody, like, if you understand business, then you're going to understand how everything else works. All right. So, like, again, like, think about your credit card. If you spend something, you got a debt that you got to pay back with interest. Always remember that too, is with interest. If the longer you wait to pay that debt back, the more the interest is going to be. Like I said, business world, spiritual world, same thing. So you can't, don't listen to these people that are saying like, oh, we're not a part of this. Everything is spiritual. Everything, you got to listen. You got to look at all these things as a whole. The four worlds, they're separate worlds, but they're still connected. Okay. So, but yeah, the way this structured, the way the money spell is structured, you don't have to worry about that. That's why it's so popular in masonry. Okay. Well, again, it's not meant for other people to use because obviously, again, like I said, they don't want everybody using it because if everybody knows about this spell, right, then it's going to disrupt the dynamic of of how the society works because there will be no different levels. Again, if we're all becoming materially rich, then we're all on the same level. And that's kind of really where we're going with the age of Aquarius, slowly but surely. It's like we're all coming to the same level. Basically, we all have the same opportunities now because, like I said before, in the age of Pisces, you couldn't get to a certain place if you wasn't in a certain bloodline. Obviously, now because of the internet, which is a representation of Aquarius, anybody can become a millionaire at this point. But 300 years ago, you couldn't become a millionaire unless, you had a certain bloodline. You couldn't be royal. And even farther, the farther you go back into the age of Pisces, okay, the more you'll notice that you couldn't get a certain place without being in a certain bloodline. But as we get farther away, like in this time period now, anybody can become successful now. So we all have the same opportunities, but that also puts a lot of more strain on the individual. Remember, Aquarius is a masculine sign. In the age of Pisces, you could lean on your government. You could lean on assistance. You could lean on, whatever made your religion, but now that we're all having the same opportunities, it's all up to you. And if you fail, if you don't get to a certain place in life, it's all because of you. It has nothing to do with anybody else because that's the rules of Aquarius. Okay. The same opportunities, but remember, we always got to remember that Aquarius is a masculine sign. We're coming out of a feminine sign. I know it doesn't seem that way because human beings are always on the opposite end of nature. So we were in a feminine sign, but destroying the feminine. And now that we're going into a masculine sign, what you're going to see is that they're going to be destroying the masculine. Because again, the masses always go from one extreme to the next extreme. But as a cultist, the special ones, you guys, us, okay, because if you're listening to this message right now, it's for you. We're trying to walk this middle path while the masses are going like this. So again, because the masses are always on the opposite end of nature, all right, which it might change, of course, but that's all a part of the cycle. It has to go like this for a reason. This is why there's a cycle. All right. So even when you're not here, the cycle is going to continue. So because we're going to a masculine age, they're going to want to destroy the masculine. The masses want to destroy the masculine when you're in a masculine age. We was in the age of Pisces, they wanted to destroy the feminine because they're going against nature. Okay. Okay. ASMR, I'm not sure. Are you asking me if I'm a Luciferian? I don't have any titles. I'm not sure if that question was for me or somebody in the chat, but I don't hold any titles. Okay. Now, what I do is I do take from everything, though. Because again, like I said before, the people that are running this world, that's how they operate. All the information I give you guys, it's always coming from those behind the scenes sources. Okay. The people that are running this world. Again, they don't have a set title. They don't have a set religion. It's not these things, again, that is available for everybody. But remember that all of these things that are available stem from a certain source. It stems from the same source. Okay, so certain things from Buddhism, certain things from Christianity, certain things from Islam, all of these things, all right, stem from something else. Okay, so that's why I don't have a title either. And if you decide to have a title, that's totally fine. I'm not here to tell you not to have a title. Okay, I'm just here to give you some good information and maybe so you can improve your life, so you can live good with your family, so you don't have to worry about paying bills. And that's what a code healing is for, to actually heal, to use these unseen forces, to use this unseen information to heal you, but not just physically. Okay, I'm talking about healing your mind. I'm talking about healing your spirit. I'm talking about healing your emotions. And in order to heal all those different aspects of life, we got to talk about those different aspects in life. So I'm going to talk about relationships. I'm going to talk about psychology, relationships concerning the emotional world. I'm going to talk about psychology concerning the mental world. I'm going to talk about these metaphysical things considered the spiritual world. And I'm also going to talk about these practical things like business and school and all this stuff, because that's the physical world. I'm going to talk about money because that's how you heal your whole being. You got to talk about all four worlds, right? I know there's a lot of other people that only focus on one world, and that's okay. But I'm just letting you know what a code healing is. Okay. Yeah, John. You said, I think all if all religions would come together and share notes, we would know everything. Yeah, because like I said, it's all coming from the same source. All right. Now, what happened is culture, right? When people separate for a long period of time, they create their own culture. We all know we all come from a particular source, right? But when we spread out, when we go to different places, you create your own culture, and that's what creates religion. Okay, so think about it like this: there was a one source, right? There was one source. Um, then a group of people go this way, a group of people go this way, a group of people go this way. As time goes on, we're talking about thousands of years. As time goes on, they develop their own culture, their own perspective on what their original source was. That turns into the religion. So the religion is not the same thing anymore, though its origin is from that source. You see what I mean? Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And that's a good perspective to have, to understand that all religions, um, there's no one bad religion, there's no one bad form of magic or anything like that. Yes, there are some things that have watered down information, um, but learn everything. Okay. Oh, so Junk, you're saying, how do you make an altar? Um, I do have a couple of videos on how to make an altar. But just real quick, just since I'm here, really, really fast. But again, I do have a video on that, so you might want to check out that video. But um, making an altar is really, really simple. Okay. Uh, the main rules here when you're making an altar is the first rule is cleansing your space. All right, but you can literally make anything an altar. Like I tell people all the time that my altars are made out of sitting stools. You see? What I do is I put a cloth over the stool. Okay. I put a cloth over the stool after I'm done cleansing my space and cleansing the stool and doing all that, cleansing work. And I have a cloth over my stool. Congratulations, altar made. Okay. Now, as far as adding things, it depends on what you're trying to do. Again, you make a different altar if you're trying to deal with your ancestors. You make a different altar if you're trying to deal with manifesting something. You make a different altar depending if you want to reflect something or use protection, whatever it may be. It's like creating the altar. As far as a basic way, you just want to have something, and then you want to put a cloth over it. Anything that you use, you don't want to have like barcodes on it. So candles with no barcodes, no pictures. But again, the rules are different depending on what you want to do with the altar. So you got to let me know exactly what you're trying to do, and then I can get a little bit more specific with that. Okay. Oh, Arbery. Yeah, man. These are real comfortable, man. Like, you know. But yeah, we must be linked then. Okay. Stellar. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, LG. Again, there's no rules. Like I said, it depends on. Oh, Charles, you said you made altars out of cinder blocks and plywood. Yo, you can literally do. Again, the main thing that you want to do is cleanse your space, and then have a cloth over whatever it is. But as far as what you want to use, it depends on what you're trying to do. Okay, like I said, it's different if you're doing it for ancestors. It's different if you're trying to attract something. It's different if you're trying to, you know, use protection. It's different if you're just trying to, because sometimes altars is just feng shui. Like you just want to create an altar that, um, you know, is bringing you some kind of, whatever it may be. I'm trying to think of something, bringing you goodwill, and you just want to have a space because of feng shui that brings you goodwill in your household. Okay, altars don't have to be like this crazy, witch kind of spiritual, kind of thing. You know, altars are, most people have altars anyway. It's just a space that has a collection of energy. Now, remember, objects contain energy. I wanted to let you guys know that everything is spiritual. Remember, even regular science understands this because if you look at anything with a microscope, okay, you're going to see things moving all around. Nothing is actually solid here. That's why they say you see things different when you have your third eye open. The whole thing that you see is you understand, because it's not like seeing, like physically seeing. You see with your mind. You understand that everything is connected, that everything is spiritual. So if you ever watched a scary movie or a movie about a haunting, physical objects could be haunted. Spirit could go into a physical object that's letting you know. Remember, there's always a seed of truth within everything. Okay. So an altar basically is a collection of energy. So if you're using tools, like whether it be crystals, whether it be incense, candles, whether it be, silver, people that get really into this, they put food on their altars. Anybody that knows anything about hoodoo and voodoo knows that you put food on your altars, herbs, spices, whatever it may be. Okay. I believe I had somebody that got a magic coaching session with me that was more adept to root magic. Because what I do in the magic coaching sessions, I tell you what magic is more beneficial to you, because obviously every magic is not going to be beneficial to you. It's just like regular life. Like I said, all this stuff is common sense. It's just there's no structure here. There's no real teachers here like that in the spiritual community. But it's common sense to know that some people are better at playing basketball and other people are better at playing soccer. Like some things are just more, just more attuned to your energy. Or you might not be athletic at all. You might be more of a scholar, or you might be more of a motivational speaker. It's the same thing with magic. It's the same thing with this path. Again, not everybody is meant to be an astrology reader. Not everybody is meant to be a tarot reader. You got to find out these things that are more geared to who you are. And this is what I mean by riding your wave. Because, like I said, life is already hard. So we make it harder by doing things that are against our own nature. Now, the thing is, like I always say, is you can do whatever you desire in this world. But remember, the reason why you have strengths and weaknesses is because you're here for a certain reason. You have certain talents. Why don't you just use the talents so life would be easier for you? Instead, of, trying to turn a weakness to a strength and wasting. And because remember, if it's a weakness for you, you got to try really, really hard. You got to work really, really hard at it, right? And then when you get there, you realize you don't even want it because you just wanted to prove a point to yourself. That's fine, because there are certain weaknesses that you do have to work on. Like one weakness could be that, in conversation, you tend to hurt people's feelings because you don't really know how to deal with with people like that. That's something that you could work on, right? That's something that can help you and beneficial. But as far as, like, let's just say, um you're totally not good at motivational speaking, but you want to try really, really hard to become a motivational speaker. That's something you got to think about, because maybe you have talents of being um athletic. Like, not every athlete is a motivational speaker. You see what I mean? The differences between these things. Okay. Um. Oh, so ASMR Rose. As far as holidays, because you're asking, if how does Christmas go down if you have children and you don't celebrate? I have children as well, and I don't stop my children from celebrating anything. That's, again, remember, like I said, you want to be Neo in the Matrix. You want to um you want to walk your path, right? But you also understand that the world is the way it is. Again, you want to participate in the world. I know that there's a lot of spiritual people telling you not to participate in the world, and I still don't understand that logic, because you have to live in this world unless you're dead, right? But if you're not dead, that means you have to operate in this world, right? So any other person telling you to not operate in this, again, it doesn't make any sense. I try to make things as simple as possible, and to make this life simple, okay? So as far as, dealing with the children, again, your children most likely go to school. I am, me personally, this is a personal opinion, okay? I don't like to stop, them from experiencing whatever kind of fun it is, because again, they're innocent. They don't understand these things. And my whole thing is to always let your children go their own way, as far as spiritual wise and anything, like, because you got to remember that not everybody is meant to wake up at a certain period of time. Okay. Maybe a couple of lifetimes ago, you could have been the individual that thought all this stuff was bullcrap, but it took time for you to grow. Might have took a couple of lifetimes, and now you're here and you're ready to do what you need to do. Okay. The best thing you can do for children is let them become them, who they are. Because remember, what usually happens, uh, what usually happens with children is that they become destroyed by their parents. Most of us here were probably already destroyed by our parents because they were our first program handlers. They stopped our growth. They stopped our imagination. Um, and then not only that, but we already have enough of that in the world, because their friends are going to, the school system, the political system, all these things affect our imagination and who we really are. So, as parents, we just add on to that. We're the first ones before anybody even touches them. We're the first ones who kind of destroy, where we break our own children. And then this is why we have so many damaged people here. Okay. So, okay. So let me see. I appreciate everybody participating, man. Okay. Would using a drum to cleanse your space work as far as change? Yes. And the empathic chicken, that name is really funny to me. I like it though. But yes, you can use a drum, sure enough, because you got to remember, all our ancient cultures, they use drums. They used frequency to change things. So yes, you can. Okay. Okay. In your altar video, I remember you said altars should be hidden. Okay. Echo. Yes. The thing is, like I said before, you don't want to get caught up in the details with this. So you don't want to drive yourself crazy of hiding your altars. Now the thing is, here's the only exception to this. Um, if your family, if like again, if your whole family is into this, if they understand this, then them seeing your altar is totally fine. You can do it as a family. You see what I mean? But if your family is not, let's just say it's just you and you're separate from your family again, and they don't understand these things, because the whole reason why you don't tell people your goals, you don't show people your altar, is because their perspective affects you. Everybody has power. All right. Doesn't matter if you're spiritual or not. When you're spiritual, when you're a magician, you're just utilizing your power. You're controlling more of your power. But even somebody who's totally asleep, they have the same amount of power as you. Okay. It's just you're utilizing it more. They're just winging it. They have no idea. So again, when you tell somebody your goal, that is not a part of it. Okay. Because if remember, if you have a team of people, all right, that needs to complete a goal, of course you all need to be in one concordance, right? But somebody outside of that doesn't need to know that. And they just need to see the results. Show don't tell is the main key here. Now, as far as altars, again, you're trying to create a specific energy, right? And that energy becomes sacred. So when somebody that doesn't understand puts their perspective on it, they're sending energy to it. Remember, energy wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So it affects the energy of the altar. But here's the thing: if let's just say somebody does see it, you don't want to drive yourself crazy. I'm just letting you know. And as far as those of you out there that are in those situations, after you're done using the altar, you can just take it down. You don't have to keep it there. Okay. And that'll save you from driving, being all crazy, like, oh my God, don't come in my space real quick. Take the altar down after you're done using it. Of course, it's always better, okay, if you're able to leave it up. But I'm just saying, you always want to do what you can. You don't want to drive yourself crazy with this stuff, guys. Okay. Because like I said, when you get frustrated, when you get anxious, all these things bring your energy down. And the main key thing is to keep you in a high frequency. And what I mean by high frequency, because just because you're high frequency doesn't mean you're going to have bad days. That's just not reality. Okay. Doesn't mean you're never going to get depressed. Doesn't mean you're never going to get sad. Okay. Doesn't mean that you're not going to experience mistakes. In all actuality, you might end up making more mistakes because that's how you learn. Okay. That's why I always said that if you make at least one mistake a day, that's how you know you're actually living. Okay. I mean, I know you're living, but it's a metaphor, right? um, but as you start becoming more awakened, what you'll realize is that you'll literally start making more mistakes. Because like how the awakening process, they make it seem like it's all fluffy and nice. It's not really like that. Because basically things are shattering for you because you need to shatter in order for you to rebuild. That's the whole dynamic of Pluto. Destroy and rebuild. Okay, so as we know, human beings tend to be very stubborn, and we tend to hate change until we shatter. Think about any time you made a real big change, something shattered in your life. It might have been you personally. You might some people had to get into a car accident. Some people had to almost die and get sick. Some people had to, you know, have their significant other cheat on them. Whatever it may be, something had to happen to you, and then you realize, oh my God, all right, I'm messing up. I need to do this. Unless you're one of those, like the half of 1% of the people that really just remain fluid. But most of us are not, even myself. I mean, of course, I have to make mistakes too, so I can learn better. So I hope that makes sense. Um, okay. So Echo, yeah, you can take it. You can take it down. Like I said, of course, it's better if you can keep it up, but you want to do what you can. You want to do what you can. Okay. right. How do you control your energy better if you have first house? Um, Antonio, I would really have to look at your chart, like, because I have no idea what your, again, that's why I kind of don't like talking about these certain things. Again, I have no idea what your first house is. I have no idea what's opposing it. I have no idea what elements or what trines, with conjunctions. I have no idea, what's going on with your first house and all those other things. So again, that's why I try to be as real as possible. I can, there's no information I could really, you specifically. I can say something general and vague, but you know, if you want some specific energy, I would advise you to get an astrology reading with me. Or if you already had an astrology reading with me, um, we can do a update one and we can talk specifically about that. Because again, I have to look at I have no idea what your first house is. Okay. Or what's opposing it. So many different dynamics. I mean, I say it all the time, but hopefully you understand though. Oh, empathic chicken, thank you for coming out. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Appreciate everybody. Okay. Peace, peace. Yes. Mistake is an opportunity to learn. Oh, so a death in the family was a wake up call for you. Yeah, like I said, usually something has to disappear. Something has to that's just how we usually learn. Okay. Um, so yeah, guys, like I said, I just wanted to hop on here. I just wanted to, chat with you guys since I haven't been on live. I promise I'm gonna try to get on live a little bit more. Um, Again, before I go, anybody that's interested in, any of those services, astrology readings, tarot readings, um, all the services, the detox session. Like I said, I'm still doing the how to make money from home session from now. Um, the magic coaching sessions. I do have to look at my emails, which I'll be doing that as soon as I get off, because I said I had two open slots. Okay. I had two open slots. So who knows if those slots will be open after this. Like I said, it's first come, first serve. You got I always say, man, you know, if when these opportunities come, you just gotta take them, you know. Don't wait. Because best believe somebody else to take the opportunity, right? um, yeah. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to C Diggs. Shout out to Maddie Champ. Shout out to LG. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Echo. Shout out to Antonio. Shout out to Junk. Um, Shout out to Eileen. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to all you guys. If I missed some of you guys, because I know I didn't go all the way up. Shout out to UW Andrews. You said you have one open spot. Okay. Um, and like I said, a Occult Healing 22 is the email. Occult Healing 22 at Gmail is the email. For anybody that wants any of those services, again, if you're not familiar with the services, just hit me up, and I'll have my assistant send you a list of the services and their prices. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night or day, depending on your time zone. And I'll be hopping on here soon, and I'll be hitting you with some more knowledge. Okay. Anybody, if you just tuned in, remember, as soon as I cut this off, you should be able to go back and look at the beginning of the live stream. So if you want to check out any of the information, okay. So peace, love, ashe, namaste to all you guys. It's one love, okay. And I will see you in the next time. Peace.